Blog Talk Radio.
Minions, and welcome aboard. My name's Tom Marquis, El Presidente. I am on loan from God for the next 2 hours to guide you through this crazy world of sports, and it is getting mad. It's called March Madness for a reason. Standing by the Balanced Green Room is Matthew Embry, WSBT up in South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame country. Also Mo from the BS Sports Show. We're going to be breaking down the first half hour, Selection Sunday tomorrow. Who's on the bubble, whose bubble gets popped, what's going to happen. You always got to have two brackets on hand. You got your real bracket, like, hey, this makes sense, and then you've got your other bracket, which is, hey, bubble buster, Cinderella buster, and a lot of times those brackets are the ones that pay off. So we're going to be talking about bracketology with Matthew Embry and Mo from the BS Sports Show. And then we'll carry on our conversation with Matthew Embry, who's also our official Indy Car contributor. We're going to talk some Indy Car. In the second hour, Steve Wilson from Speedway Digest joins us, talking some NASCAR. And then at 10:30, or the last segment of the show, it is NFL Free Agency Madness. We got super fan Adam Gentleman from the Browns Superfan. Yeah, we don't even need to have an NFL season. We just need to go ahead and give the Super Bowl to the Cleveland Browns. Anyway, my name is Tom Marquis, El Presidente, 917-898-516. My digits. We'll be right back right here on the Balance Radio Network.
Tonight, I just want to take you away. Blow your hands up in the sky. Let's set this party alright. Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon.
The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active-duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
It's double trouble, double the fun at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. See the largest antelope on Earth, the giant eland, and the ugliest creature on Earth, the African warthog. There's so much to see and do, including the Midwest's only drive-through safari. Feed the animals, see live educational shows, feel the excitement. Have your picture taken with a python or cockatoo. Feel the adventure. Shop the Symbol Lodge gift shop with items available from around the globe. Visit the snack bar or picnic facilities. Enjoy a pony or camel ride. Or cheer your favorite porker on to victory in the famous Pork Chop Down. Bring your family to see the rare and exotic animals at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. Just take Route 2 to the Route 53 North exit and follow the sign. Only 17 miles west of Cedar Point via Route 6. Open every day, rain or shine.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your move.
When you don't go to geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm loud. Roar.
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
Welcome back to the Balance. My name is Tom Marquis, El Presidente, and also welcome to all of our affiliate radio stations across this United States of America. We are joined live now by Matthew Embry, WSBT up in South Bend Country, and Mo from the BS Sports Show. Mo, how is you, sir?
I'm alive.
You're alive, huh? Hey, is it too early to be out there with your Traeger and smoking some meat?
No, I'll be doing that here
Too early. Bit. Hey, sweet. And also joining us, Matthew Embry, WSBT up in South Bend, our official Indy Car contributor, and also lends his knowledge of college basketball to the show. Guys, it is that time. Matthew, we'll start with you. It is that time. We got a lot of people on the bubble. We're going to get to Mo here in just a minute. I know, Mo, you've got a hard stop with us, so we're going to go hard and fast for the next 15 minutes. About what I'm good for anyway, Mo, you know that. But anyway, no, not literally you don't know that. That came out totally wrong. That's like talking about Intercourse, Pennsylvania, but that's a whole nother conversation. Go ahead, Matthew. How are you, sir?
Well, I think let's get right to the business right now as far as what is at stake today. Obviously, the bubble for those teams trying to get in on the cut line got shrunk again yesterday. VCU lost. Also, we saw a couple other teams have close shaves. So I think looking to tonight, Tom, I'd say the big games to keep an eye on are the MAC championship, the Pac-12 championship, and also the Mountain West, because you have three possibilities there where if Oregon upsets Washington and steals a bid, you also have a situation where we know the A-10 is going to have a bid stealer. MAC looks very vulnerable. This is a Bowling Green team that's beaten Buffalo earlier this season, so they certainly have the capabilities to knock them off. And then you're looking at Mountain West game. Utah State, I'd say, is solidly win this game or not, but San Diego State wins. That makes three teams in the Mountain West. Certainly that knocks someone out of the cut line. And I don't know about you, Mo, but I think the big question on my mind tomorrow is what is the committee going to do with this net situation and with the bubble and these weak power conference teams left across the board? I mean, seriously, we could have a Texas team get an at-large bid with a 16-16 record. I mean, that would be a scary precedent if that happens. And then, of course, the other question on my mind is what does the committee do with teams like Belmont, Greensboro, Furman, all these mid-majors that have a ton of wins on their resume, but not necessarily quality wins? Do they get the benefit of the doubt, or do they get omitted once again like they were with the old RPI?
Go ahead, Bo. And also, you talk about San Diego State and the Aztecs. They're in exactly the same position this year that they were last year, and we'll see what happens with the Aztecs. We'll talk a little bit more about them as the games go along, and we'll see what happens with Selection Sunday. But, Mo, you hear Matt. Matt brings up some very good concerns regarding Selection Sunday. We always like to debate this on Saturday before Selection Sunday, what's about to happen. But Matt's right. We are establishing a precedent here that do we want to go down that road, Mo?
I don't know if it's correct to go down that road, but I think that's what happens again because I think the NCAA likes the Cinderella stories of some of these smaller colleges, some of these mid-majors, but they don't like too many because they still like the big teams that bring television ratings. So you look at teams like Ohio State and Indiana, Ohio State has beat Indiana twice, beat them in the Big Ten tournament. But if you look at their quality wins, Ohio State, it's hard to point them out. When you look at Indiana's quality wins, they do have a few more. Even though that team was terrible throughout the better part of the Big Ten season, when it comes down to quality wins and strength of schedule, IU, I think, has got Ohio State beat. But I think Ohio State's probably going to sneak into the tournament. They're probably a 12 seed. But, some of these teams like St. Mary's where they knock off Gonzaga, Matthew's right, that does hurt for some of these bigger teams. Do we want to see a 16-16 Texas team play? I don't, but I think the NCAA, when it comes down to television ratings, I think that they do. I think if you could tell the NCAA right now, hey, it's going to work out to where North Carolina plays Duke in the national championship game, I think they would sign up for that right now. It's fun to watch these Cinderella teams, but at the end of the day, for the NCAA, let's be honest, it has been and always will be about money, and that comes from television ratings.
Well, you make a valid point. It is always about money. But we look back to the shoe explosion, and we look at we'll start with you, Mo. We look at Duke's decision against North Carolina to play my shoe boy. Brain fart, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. Ozier or Zier. How do you say that? There you go. Zion. There we go. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the bailout. But they beat North Carolina 74-73. Here's the thing. I'm wondering. I got my tinfoil hat on here with Duke and Zion. I don't think they're going to be a number one seed, but at the same time, you're right, Mo. We'll start with you, Mo. What do you think about this Zion conspiracy about them? Let's let him rest a little bit. Air quotes. Play against North Carolina and then not play against North Carolina, and then now they're going to maybe have to turn around and play him again. What are your thoughts, Mo?
Well, I think honestly it came down to where Coach K let Zion decide what he wanted to do because, we could have had a Nick Bosa situation like we did at Ohio State in football. The guy is the captain of the team and said, yeah, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to wait for the draft. And Zion very well could have done it, and I wouldn't have been upset if he did. But, this is a kid I think is enjoying himself. He's having a good time, and I think the decision came down to what he wanted to do. He felt like he was back at 100%, and he wanted to get out there and play basketball. And let's be honest, Duke needed him. I think one thing this has done in Zion's absence is to me, in my eyes, hurt the draft stock of a couple of those other guys in Cam Reddish and R.J. Barrett who couldn't pick up the slack and win basketball games or win them against bad teams very closely. But it's been a while since we've had a guy like Zion Williamson that was the talk of college basketball. So I'm not a Duke fan whatsoever, but I want to see Zion Williamson continue to play. As much as I can see him play for Duke this year. He's the guy that brings eyeballs to television sets. And, I don't think there's any conspiracy. I honestly believe it came down to Zion's decision.
Matt, let's go over to you. Let's play the homer card. I know you're up at WSBT in South Bend. Notre Dame country will give you a few moments there to talk about the fall from glory, if you will, with Notre Dame. But also, we look at the loss to Purdue to Minnesota yesterday. That could play a big impact in the selections decision, especially when it comes to letting IU into the game. Now, I think that they're still on the board. I don't think that they've been erased from the board. And as Mo pointed out earlier, you got those quad one wins, those resume wins, if you will. You start the season off at 12-2 or whatever it was. You get those quad one wins. That helps you out now. Now they need that. Those are your get out of jail free cards. Talk with us a little bit about the impact of the loss of Purdue yesterday. What happened with the Irish, and does Indiana get in? I mean, I think it's a coin toss at this point. It's 50-50, but I think Indiana gets in. Go ahead, Matt.
I'd say absolutely no way that they deserve to be in. This, again, is a team that has 4 games under 500. And that, again, would set a precedent that maybe you can slack off a little bit in the regular season and still get in the tournament. I think that's a dangerous slope to take to get in. I'd say Ohio State, I think also. Actually, I think if you ask me, Ohio State has a worse resume. I would be very surprised if either of those teams gets called into this field. The only reason they would get in is because the power conference bubble is so weak. And also, they have no interest in putting in these mid-majors to take the last spots. That's the only way I could see either one of those two teams getting in. Now, as far as Purdue, I think they hurt themselves. I would be very surprised if Purdue gets a top 16 seed on Sunday. I really don't think they deserve it now. They have looked very marginal. And again, what happened? They are relying too much on Carson Edwards to carry the team. I mean,